This NBA season, don't let an injury rule out your bet. With Fanatics Fair Play's first-half injury protection, Fanatics Sportsbook keeps your bet in play. Fair Play protects all first-half player props from injuries across every NBA game this season. So make the switch and stay in the game with Fanatics Sportsbook. Winning hits different here. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-522-4700. MD, visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Offer not available in all states. Terms apply. See Fanatics Sportsbook app.
Adobe Radio, the future of alternative.
And welcome to the United States of America.
Global woman, radioactive sites, imperialistic wrongs, and animal rights. No!
Adobe Radio.
It's news to us.
We are live on Adobe Radio. Teddy and Jason with you the week of April 27th, 2026. You take 1 week off, Jason, and then the world goes to hell every single time. So much has happened. It's crazy.
The world we live in right now, it seems like the world goes to hell every week. So
I know. And then we were off last week, and like so much has happened in the world, and we have limited time to talk about it here, which is, I guess, what can you do? We have an hour every week to talk about the biggest news stories. Also, Toadies are going to be joining us.
Ooh, cannot wait.
World famous musicians, Toadies, of course. They have that song Possum Kingdom everybody loves, but also a new album coming out on Friday.
Ooh,
so
that's awesome. Can't wait to talk to those guys.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. So that's coming up here on It's News to Us. Everything good in your neck of the woods before we get into a couple stories here? I know that you watched the Denver Nuggets over the weekend, and they lost, but the Colorado Avalanche won. A couple of your teams. Yeah,
Avalanche won. They've moved on. They're going to have about a week off as the Stars and Wild play out their series. So we'll see what happens, but Avs won. But like you said, Nuggets Saturday night lost.
For the other fan that's listening.
Well, the thing that was really annoying about the Nuggets game was, as we're sitting there, we went out to watch the game, so we're eating food, having drinks, whatever, watching the game, and then all of a sudden, ABC goes into breaking news. It's about the assassination attempt of Donald Trump.
Oh, yeah.
And I was so annoyed.
You're livid.
I was livid. Who gives a shit? Move on.
Again? I know. That happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. We could talk about that. That was going to be our top story. Before we get into that, though, I was in Denver the weekend before last. That's why we didn't do a show last week. And it was a winning weekend. Remember? Yeah. We had a winning weekend because the Colorado Rockies won against the LA Dodgers. Yeah. The Avs won and the Nuggets won. And we got to hang out.
Yeah, come home, Eddie.
I know. I'm on my way.
We got to go to see a sweet show.
Yeah, we saw Sublime
at Red Rocks.
At Red Rocks. So much happened that weekend. We really jammed it into it was a very dense weekend, but it was fun.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind of a weekend, and it was a great time. Always great seeing you. And I will say that the Red Rocks show, though, I've never seen Red Rocks so packed before.
They definitely oversold it. It's crazy.
We were jammed in there like sardines.
Yeah. Well, Toadies are gonna join us here in a minute. So let's see how many stories we can get to in our news roundup.
It's news to us. News roundup.
Well, what was supposed to be journalism's biggest nerd prom, the White House Correspondents' Dinner, turned into a near disaster after a gunman opened fire near the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I believe he was like in the lobby or something, right? He kind of like ran past the Secret Service and security. This suspect allegedly wanted to eliminate top political figures, including targeting the president as well. And now Washington is scrambling to figure out how it could have happened. Coincidentally, immediately after the incident, about 35 people in the GOP, various leaders, all tweeted at the same time, "This is why we need a ballroom."
Oh my God! Of course, this is all for show, Eddie.
It seems like it's just hard to trust anything that these guys do ever, and I don't know. Everybody is very suspicious over this whole event.
So last week, I told you guys that all of MAGA is paid and they coordinate their messaging in lockstep via group chats. And what do you know? All of these people came to the conclusion that after they saw what happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, their first thought was all independently, Trump needs his ballroom. The statistical likelihood of this happening in a vacuum, if we are to stipulate that these people are not coordinated, the statistical likelihood of this happening, that they all came to the same conclusion, not probable. Okay.
Yeah, there's a TikToker, Ash STC, pointing out that that's always one good thing about the GOP is that they're always coordinated with their messaging. So immediately after this happened, all of the top leaders said, "Oh, we need the ballroom." Of course, there's a big lawsuit happening around the ballroom, and judges trying to block it, saying that there are a lot of problems with that.
All right.
But they're saying now there's no argument against the ballroom. You got to have this ballroom.
Well, it was interesting. I don't know. Have you seen the videos? There's lots of video out there, and it's interesting that JD Vance was taken off stage before Trump.
I know. I did see that. Well,
JD Vance, the vice president, was removed from the stage before Trump was.
His detail is better. He has a better detail than the president,
I guess.
And then there's also this guy. This one's a little bit visual, so you'll have to let the listeners know what you're seeing. But here's a guy during this incident at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Tulsi Gabbard in that room. You, of course, have J.D. Vance in that room, naturally the President of the United States. And as John mentioned, the White House
just sitting at his table.
There's a guy just eating at the table. What's happening?
He's just eating while everybody's in the back. You can see people hiding behind tables.
Well,
this guy's just
FBI
eating.
Director Kash Patel was also just sitting around, looking around, what's going on? Did not get up from his seat. You would think the FBI director would have been oh my God, I got to get to work. But no, he just sat there. Just sat there while, the room was clearing out. And he just sat there looking around what's going on? What's happening? I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, and then
what can contribute?
What also is really kind of weird to me is that immediately after this event, there was a press conference.
Yeah,
immediately, you'd think that if there was an attempt on the president's well-being, he would be in shock and he'd want to go home and spend time with his family. But no, he immediately gets behind a podium and starts taking questions and spewing really bizarre things. Here he is.
Function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. I tell the story. Race car drivers. I think it's very dangerous. So
there's our buddy Cash behind him.
You take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily. They die. So much less than 1%. 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same, 10% of 1%, much less than 1%. But if you take presidents, it's 5.8%, and about 8% are shot at. So,
there you go.
What the fuck?
What is going on?
I don't know, but it pissed me off because they kept interrupting the basketball game.
Right. Assholes.
And we were out in public and nobody wanted to see that. No one cared.
What was the reaction? So you're at a bar or something?
We were at a bar. Yeah.
What was the reaction of the crowd?
I mean, it wasn't very crowded, but we were at a neighborhood watering hole, and everyone was like, "God, shut up! Put the game on."
Everybody's
cares.
just so tired of this shit. I don't know. Say this wasn't staged. At this point, he's lied so much that it's like the boy who cried wolf. So I just don't believe anything.
Oh man, it was his third attempt on his assassination attempt?
Allegedly.
Right.
Yeah. So, we've reached a point where this political violence isn't shocking. It's just scheduled programming interrupting your game.
Oh, I know. And
yeah.
I mean, I don't remember anything like this happening with Obama or Bush.
It didn't.
Yeah. The worst that happened to Bush was someone threw their shoes at him.
Yeah.
You remember that video of him ducking and weaving?
I do remember that. Well, speaking of that ballroom, so in response to that shooting at the Correspondents' Dinner, lawmakers are pushing to build a $400 million ballroom at the White House. And now the pitch is security. So the Republicans introduced legislation to fund by the way, $400 million for a ballroom. White House ballroom is crazy. And it was initially supposed to be privately funded. But
we had a bunch of corporations that were sponsoring it, Eddie. I mean, they ripped down half the White House to build this ballroom, and we had corporations like Apple.
Yeah, didn't Tim Apple give him $1 million or something?
Yeah, Tim Apple and all these big Comcast or all these conglomerates were giving money to fund this ballroom.
Yeah, and then where'd that money go?
I don't know. I thought they were going to get like advertisement on the White House. Weren't they going to have like their logos on the building?
Oh my God!
It's like a sports center in there.
It's like we're really turning into idiocracy more and more.
Oh, we are.
We're in it full on. We're in it,
dude, and it's fucking just mind numbing.
Yeah. So, because of what went down, lawmakers are arguing that it's going to be safer for larger gatherings on White House grounds to have this ballroom.
Wasn't there a shooter on the White House grounds like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Did someone get on the lawn? Like, come on.
Yeah, and like that guy that ran by security at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, like he got pretty far for somebody who's just off the street. I guess he ran by a whole bunch of Secret Service people, and they didn't even shoot him or anything. They were able, you'd think that they would just shoot him. Why didn't they like at least shoot him in the leg or something?
Or tackle him.
Yeah.
I mean, how many? I mean, there's got to be so many. A ballroom is not the answer.
Yeah.
Right? Like someone could run. Someone has ran into onto the White House grounds in the last few months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's crazy.
You guys, come on. Just tighten up security.
Yeah.
If this is real, like Secret Service, do your job.
Well, how about some positive news out of politics?
No, let's keep going dark.
No, keep going dark.
We're in it. No, I'm kidding.
Well, Virginia had a redistricting vote. We've talked about gerrymandering a lot here on It's News to Us. And Virginia voters approved a redistricting amendment in a special election the other day. And this potentially gives Democrats a major advantage in congressional map making. Could possibly pick up 6 House seats.
Oh.
Because of this. And this is a reaction to what happened in Texas, of course. Texas decided to redraw their maps. Because of that, California said, if you redraw yours, we're going to have a law that will trigger, making it so we redistrict California. And now other states are following. And Virginia voters just approved that. So, I mean, that's really good news. And basically, it's just playing the same game for once.
Yeah.
So that's always been the problem with Democrats, playing 2 different games.
Taking the high road.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a problem, but morals, Eddie. We got to have morals. No?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really tough for me, like, because I think you do have to have morals and character, right? Like, I think that's important to me anyway. But then you look at like what Republicans do, and like they're like, oh, geez, family and Jesus, blah blah blah, and then you find out that they're, doing whatever, like having affairs and doing some bad stuff, right? Like, and their voters still support the platform.
Mm-hmm.
It just blows my mind.
I know.
It blows me away, Eddie. I don't understand it. I do not understand it.
Yeah.
We're voting against our best interest. What are we doing, folks?
The midterms are coming up in November, and special elections going on this year have shown Democrats outperforming in a bunch of places. And, I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens because there's some districts that were heavily DJT and in special elections have now gone like 20 points in the other direction. So it's pretty crazy.
There's concern in the GOP that the House is going to flip and the Senate, and they're worried that Trump's going to be impeached and removed.
Yeah. So the House is probably going to flip at this point. But the Senate's going to be a tough one.
That's going to be tough.
And it might not happen. But
you got people that supported Trump that campaigned for him, like Tucker Carlson. He's come out in the last week saying that he was duped and he cannot believe what happened.
Yeah.
Have you seen that, Eddie?
I did see Tucker Carlson say that.
Yeah. He's like, I'm ashamed that I helped this man win the election. I was duped. I was promised things that, I fell for it and blah, blah, blah. Like
he was promised some money or something. He didn't get it.
But, hey, there's fractures happening all throughout Republican pundits. So we'll see what happens. But the Iran war is not helping Trump's cause.
Yeah, no, with gas prices up, no one wants to be in this war. We're all seeing the economic ripples from it. I don't know. It's crazy. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in the midterm. Don't forget, that's coming up. Register to vote if you haven't yet. Make sure all that information is up to date. This would be a good time to do that. And please do get out there and vote. Even George W., he came out and he did a little interview with his daughter on the Today Show, and he said that if you don't like what's happening, vote. That's what W says.
You gotta chase those armadillos.
Yeah.
We gotta smoke them out.
Smoke out in them armadillos. Well, let's, I guess, quickly thank our sponsor. I know that we have so much to get to. We're going to talk to Toadies here in just a second, the band, and a lot more. Here, let me. Why isn't that not opening for me? Quince, though, we want to thank Quince, Jason, for sponsoring our episode, and it's time to rethink your wardrobe, maybe, and maybe you want to refresh a little bit because it's the springtime. Quince, they're amazing. They make really good clothes. I got some activewear from them, moisture wicking, anti-odor. It's so soft. You're actually going to want to wear it all day. I got one of their activewear shirts, and I've been wearing it as a regular T-shirt. I like it so much. It breathes. And here in California, it's always 75 and sunny, so you need something that's going to breathe. And Quince to the rescue. Thank you, Quince.
High quality, affordable, love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great resource.
Well, go get yourself some Quince. All right, refresh your wardrobe right now. Quince.com/news to us for free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/news to us for free shipping and 365-day returns. That's Quince.com/news to us. Okay, give us about 60 seconds. We'll be right back with our guest. We're going to talk to Clark of Toadies. They have a new album coming out on Friday, and we'll catch up and see what they're up to, and more coming up next right here on It's News to Us. Don't go anywhere.
It's News to Us with Eddie and Jason.
All right, Jason, we're both excited for our guest, Clark Vogeler, guitarist of alternative rockers Toadies. Well, of course, I think we've had Clark maybe on the show before at one point or another, but you know them, of course, from their breakthrough album Rubberneck that came out back in '94, and a couple of staples on there that we all love. And these guys have been making a lot of music since then, of course, too. But Possum Kingdom, Tyler, and now after more than 3 decades, they're back with The Charmer. It's recorded live to tape, an album we're going to talk about, coming out on Friday on Austin nonprofit label Space Flight Records. And Clark should be joining us live here. How's it going? How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. What are you up to?
Just basically packing, getting ready for like 7-week long tour that starts day after tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Are you excited?
I'm super excited. Yeah. We've been waiting to go out and play these songs for a long time. So, typically there's a lot of anxiety leading up to a tour, but this time I think the anxiety is minimized and it's mostly excitement.
Now, so I don't know. Where do we begin with you? There's so much to talk about. So, I mean, just looking back at your career and Toadies and 30 years, it's just so hard to decide where to dive in with you guys. But I'm just going to kind of jump in randomly here. So
yeah, sure.
Rubberneck, you joined Toadies when Rubberneck had already been out, and you've said that you were already a fan and even used early internet guitar tabs while auditioning in the 1990s. So when you're playing these songs now, do you still feel like you're a fan who snuck into the band, or do you feel like you're like still, or has this material become yours at this point?
I mean, it really depends what record you're talking about. If you're talking about Rubberneck, then yeah, I still feel like I'm kind of in the coolest Toadies cover band.
Yeah.
And I still try to play it exactly like those guys played it on the record. But after, a few albums of being with the band, I started to lose a little bit of that imposter syndrome and started to feel like kind of part of the process. And, really since we got back together in 2008, it's been, a much more collaborative kind of spirit between us. So the imposter syndrome is still there a little bit, but it's mostly gone. And I really just try to pay respect to the music that I'm not on and then play the music that I am on as well as I can.
And speaking of that album, a lot of bands kind of resent having that one album that dominates everything. And you've talked about the joy of walking into a room where hundreds of thousands of people are kind of losing their minds for these songs. And what did it take to get you from we have to play these songs to we get to play these songs?
I think the most telling experience was the first time I played live with them. It was a benefit down in Texas after a massive tornado. And I had been playing Tyler with them in rehearsal. It's one of our songs that is one of the fan favorites. And I wasn't prepared for, there it is, last song on the set. And I started playing the little 2-note dee-do, dee-do. And I was not prepared for 3,000 people to just erupt in a scream and the room to come alive. And that never gets old. I mean, that's like a musician's best case scenario. Even though there's a little bit of imposter syndrome with it on that song, it's still, I get to play it. And, we never get tired of playing those songs because everybody in the room lights up. They're smiling. They're having a good time. It's impossible to feel like you're working when that's happening. So it's always good. And I resent bands that do kind of like diss on their big single. I think that's weak. And you really should, that's the best case scenario. If somebody wants to hear a song of yours, you should give it to them.
Have you ever played a set where you didn't play Possum Kingdom? Or
One time in Florida, it was a weird venue that was half concert venue, half strip bar. And I don't remember why we didn't play it that night. I think our lead singer was feeling frustrated or something. We didn't play it.
She wants to punish the audience.
Yeah, something like that. So we walked next door into the strip bar after the set, and the DJ goes, "Well, if they won't play it, we'll play it." There comes Possum Kingdom. So that's what happened the one time we didn't play it.
Oh, that's funny. I had no idea that Toadies were once in an X-Men comic, and I guess X-Men were running security at a Toadies show. And they did a few episodes where they incorporated some real life bands, and we're one of them. Oh, so it was the cartoon, not the comic book itself. Oh no, it was the comic. Sorry, I'm not very versed. It was a comic. Oh, okay. So I don't know how big of a comic book guy you are, but which Toadies song is secretly a mutant, and what is its superpower? Honestly, all the other guys in the band are bigger comic book nerds than myself. I'm always just been a music nerd, so I'm not going to embarrass us by trying to fake an answer. I apologize. I couldn't answer that either because I'm not a huge comic book nerd guy, but you're a 4-time Emmy-nominated editor. I had no idea. So with credits tied to shows like Project Runway and Top Chef, how'd you get into that? The band broke up in 2001. Our bass player had quit, and we had a bunch of frustrations with the record label, and our band just blew up on tour.
And I just thought, well, I'm not going to just sit around Dallas. I wanted to go to film school and learn how to edit TV shows and films. And I got into a one-year program and pretty promptly started working after that and fell in with some cool people that were making cool shows. And it's really stimulating work. I feel like it operates on the same parts of a brain that music does, editing. It's rhythmic. I feel like it's a lot of the same parts. So I really enjoy the actual work. But when you work in Los Angeles, they expect you to start at 50 hours a week, and it'll go up to 60, 70, 80, 90 hours a week sometimes. And that is a real soul crusher.
I bet.
But the good thing is, like, all during those years that I was working TV shows in Los Angeles, I would spend half the year doing that and then half the year out on tour with the band. And really, they each took the edge off one another. After 6 months on the road, I'm like, can't wait to get into that edit bay.
Right.
And after 6 months in the edit bay, can't wait to go play some music. So it was a good balance for a long time.
Because like editing is all about pacing and tension and reveals and knowing when to cut. And what has editing taught you about editing your own music? Is there anything that you've kind of learned about pacing and stuff?
Well, I'll tell you what I learned. There's a cliche in the editing business called kill your babies. And this may be a writing thing or filmmaking. And it's kind of like when you're creating something, you get really stuck. You think this one thing's working really good and you're really proud of it. Mm-hmm. That's probably the first thing that needs to go when you're making hard choices. And I think that can apply to music. Like, you really love that one section where the guitars do this thing, but you know what? If it doesn't help the song, then it's counterproductive, and you're better served by killing the baby.
Oh, interesting. I've heard that before, but I never explained. That's interesting. What does the silence of an edit bay give you that music can't, and kind of vice versa?
I guess I'm just kind of like a quiet, private person, and I don't mind being in a dark room alone for long stretches. And after I've done that for several months, and then I go out and play a Toadies show, I feel very vulnerable when people are staring at me on stage. It's like, why are they looking at me? It's ridiculous, right, probably to hear, but it's true. And so there is always a period where I have to adapt to having people around. People want to talk to me. People are going to look at me when I'm on stage playing. It's just a bit of an adjustment. I think that it's kind of odd myself.
And if anybody wants to see some of your work with Toadies, you actually edited The Charmer, your latest music video. We'll play that song here in a minute, but you edited and directed that, correct?
I did. When we went into the studio, I set up some cameras and filmed a bunch of stuff and ended up having enough to make, I guess, a semi-compelling music video. There's no like narrative story or dance number or anything, but it's us recording in the studio. But what I also did is, after I started talking to our singer Vaden about the lyrics, I always like to kind of, inquire, what's he singing about? What's behind the lyrics? Because it's not always obvious. I feel like he puts enough words down for people to paint their own images in their head, but it's never clear what he's talking about. So when I started inquiring and he started talking about, a lot of this record deals with his mental struggles and trying to find a balance for himself and trying to feel normal. And when he was telling me about this, I just started picturing little videos talking about each song, and he could describe, where the lyrics came from or what they mean to him in his head. And so starting tomorrow, there's going to be a bunch of new videos, excuse me, along with that Charmer video, music video you're talking about. It's going to be like those, but Vaden's going to be talking about the inspiration of each of the songs. And so I got to kind of use my editing brain for Toadies and making these little documentaries.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
So it's fun to contribute that way.
Yeah, that's really cool. The Michael movie is the #1 movie at the box office right now from over the weekend. And of course, as we all know, Michael Jackson, the master at making music videos. What do you think is the best music video ever done?
I was a big Michel Gondry fan. He made a bunch of unusual videos. I think my favorite would probably have to be the Aphex Twin Come to Daddy video, which I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it is scary. It is like a horror show. It will unnerve you. So I feel like that's probably the most effective music video. Can I back up for a second, though? You just mentioned Michael Jackson.
Yes.
We just found out, I just logged into the band's Instagram the other night and saw that Michael Jackson's daughter, Paris Jackson, was sitting on her Instagram, strumming along, playing one of our songs and singing it to her phone.
Oh, no way. That's crazy.
Yeah, and she's got 6 million followers, so I thought that was maybe like a little extra buzz that could help us with a new record.
Right. And it's kind of cool to have music royalty paying attention to what you guys are up to.
Yeah, it was surprising. But she was at the show last week as well. Sent us a note saying that it was a dope show.
Well, she has good taste.
Hey, can't complain.
Is there a moment in your career where you've been starstruck?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm just a music fan more than I'm a musician. So let's try to think. Who would I be starstruck? I really I wanted to meet David Bowie. Oh, here's one. Mm-hmm. Willie Nelson. We met Willie Nelson very briefly backstage, and it was right after a show where we had the cops chasing us around because they thought we were smoking pot backstage at the casino. And then it just happened to be the same night he got arrested a few hours away. And then we met him the next night at that same venue. And I told him the cops chased us out of there. And Willie says, well, that shit happens. So I think I talked his ear off for about the whole 60 seconds he was within arm's reach, but he was super nice. And
that's cool.
In the photo of us, I have tears in my eyes. So that was definitely starstruck.
Yeah, what a cool moment. I'm glad you were able to get a photo. A lot of times in those moments, you're like, oh, should I get a photo? I feel like I might be bothering them. But then
I had to get a photo.
You have to. Sometimes you just have to, and you're like, they're never going to remember me, even if they think I'm a dick right now. I gotta do it.
Gotta.
So the Charmer's coming out on Space Flight Records, nonprofit, artist-friendly model, which is really cool. How long have you guys been with Space Flight, and what's your feeling behind the whole model there?
I think what they're doing is really cool. I mean, by and large, record labels are not profit makers anyway, so it's great that they're just going in and saying, look, we're going to set this up as a nonprofit. We've got people contributing money to the label, and a lot of their roster is artists that are underrepresented or may not ever get a budget, small bands, maybe LGBTQ or just different parts of the society that just don't often get big recording budgets. And Spaceflight is operating to try to give these people a platform, these bands, and it's mostly smaller artists than us. There's a few big artists on there. The Sword works with them. Heartless Bastards works with them. Great bands. And so we just thought it was a good opportunity for us to work with a cool Texas label that's doing good things out there. And they have kind of a philosophy that we can get behind. And we're pleased to be associated with, a label like this rather than just a random label that's, looking at the bottom line and trying to make money. It just seemed like a really good fit as soon as we learned about them.
That's really cool. And they're Texas based as well. How long are you going to be with them? Did you sign up for a certain amount of records or?
Well, we don't know exactly. We've made an arrangement to release this record with them, and then beyond that, after this record, we're going to talk about what we got going next because we already have some stuff recorded, but we don't know. That's just a little further down the line, but we may stick with them. They seem like really great people.
Very cool. Well, this new album release is coming out on Friday, and The Charmer. You guys have described it as the most defiantly Toadies album yet. And what does defiantly Toadies mean to you now that it might not have meant 25 years ago?
I think, all the records we made up until this point were kind of pieced together, and the band plays together, but then really you're only trying to get the drums. And then once the drums are in place, then the bass player goes in and overdubs his thing. This is really time consuming, and it does not give you the energy of 4 people playing together with each piece kind of stacked on its own. So with this one, we really wanted to go and play live, record it live, let the vibrations in the room bounce off one another. The amps are all in the same room. So there's something that happens when, the air is moving in the room together from these different sources, and that's part of what you hear when you hear the record. It sounds like a live band. So in that way, I feel like
cool.
it's the most honest version of the band because it's so live.
And you recorded this at Electrical Audio in Chicago, correct? And
that's right, with the legendary and late great Steve Albini.
Oh wow, that's wow! What a cool experience. Are there any mistakes that you guys left in, or did you always go, or did you keep going back? Or I guess, did you perform it live once, just live to tape? And then, or did you do it a couple times? How did that work?
You might do 2, 3 takes of a song and feel like, okay, that last one is the one. And absolutely on every single one, at least one of us, probably all of us, felt like, well, I didn't really hit that one thing exactly like I wanted to, but everything else is sounding good. So you really have to learn to live with these things. And it's tough after, 25 years of recording albums where you can go in and fix, especially with Pro Tools. You can fix one snare drum, you can fix one word or one note on the guitar, and very often people do. But recording to tape, you really have to be like, that was honest, that was what we sounded like, that was the way I played it in that moment, and live with it. And it's a real kind of adjustment to get into that brain set. But after you do, it's kind of liberating. Like, hey, it's not perfect, but it sounds like real people playing it. And that's what we think is its advantage.
Yeah, I totally get that. That's part of the reason why we do our show live on Adobe, is because it's that same reason. Everything you just described. We've tried recording it in the past and kind of get in your head and you're like, oh, I can go back and fix that. And then it'll never be perfect. Especially if you're a bit of a perfectionist, just doing it and then having it live as it is kind of valuable for your own mental health.
There's something real in that. It's also like, you did it, that was where you were that hour you recorded the thing, let it be. I like that.
Is that how you guys are going to record songs going forward?
I imagine we will stick to this, recording live to tape. It's kind of, like I said, it's liberating. You cannot get in there and mess with every single thing. And so it's fun that way. And you know what? It's like in the records that I have loved, I've a lot of times I'm drawn to the imperfections, the way the guy's voice cracks, or the way Jimmy Page really barely hit that phrase. He was so sloppy, Jimmy Page. And those things stand out to me way more than the perfect playing of Steely Dan or whatever. I like the humanity, the imperfection. That's the good stuff.
Yeah, I agree. So this is not a gimmick. It might be the way forward.
Yeah, and I think, I keep hearing about a younger generation's analog revival, and they want old stuff. They don't want new stuff. They want old stuff that's imperfect and doesn't have ads all over it. And so I have a feeling that, maybe this is the very bottom where everybody's recording to Logic or GarageBand or Ableton, whatever they can at home. But I think in the future, I feel like people are going to move back towards tape, which is going to take something, though, because there's only, so much tape out there in the world right now.
Yeah.
There's only a couple companies making it. There's only so many players. But I do think that its value is going to come back up in the future.
I think Jack White's made a few wise investments, if that's the case.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a good person to refer to. He's big on this stuff for sure.
Yeah. Well, we really appreciate your time. Again, the new release is out on Friday. Everybody check that out. We're going to play The Charmer. Is there anything that you'd like to say to tee this one up, or should we just hit it?
I mean, I'll just give you basically what this one's about. First off, thanks for talking to me and talking about the album. We appreciate it.
Of course, yeah. Big fans.
This song, The Charmer, our singer was talking about, he has this voice inside him that's always saying, you're not good, you're terrible, you're never going to be good, you suck. I think a lot of us have a voice like this, but his has always been there, and it's been kind of a big part of his songwriting process. And after a certain point, he made peace with it, and he knows how to access it, but how to keep it in a cage. And he named this kind of critical voice The Charmer, and it's always whispering in his ear, telling him things. And that's that's what this song's about. So listen to it with that in mind. Maybe you get something out of it.
Cool. Thank you for sharing that. And this is the title track from the forthcoming studio album, The Charmer, out on Friday, Space Flight Records. And again, recorded with the legendary Steve Albini at Electrical Audio in Chicago live. This is all live to tape. And we really, again, thank you again, Clark. We will catch up with you soon. Hopefully we'll come out to a show. And you have yourself a great rest of your evening.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Talk soon.
Talk soon. That was pretty cool to talk to Toadies.
That was super cool, man. I was a little starstruck.
Yeah, they've put out a lot of good music over the years, and they are the alternative rock, I think, kind of, I don't know, staples, grandfathers. I don't even know what you want to say. Probably even like they were back there in the 90s putting out stuff that people were loving.
I think they're, the base to what we have now, right?
Yeah, and it's cool they're still making music. Yeah.
They're the forefathers.
I really like that live to tape thing that they're doing too.
Dude, I love that. And I love the fact that like Charmer was like, it's a very vulnerable song for, the singer, right? Like,
yeah.
I think that's really cool. Like that, because I think we all have an internal critic.
Of course.
That we all have to deal with. And the fact that Vaden Todd Lewis went so far as to write about it and sing about it, I think it's pretty cool.
It's crazy too that he still has that voice after being a mega successful rock star.
I mean, yeah, and all these years later, right?
Yeah. Well,
but
yeah,
it's really cool, and excited to see them. They're out on tour for the next 7 weeks.
Yeah, go see.
They're gonna be in Denver, June 5th. I saw. So, I'm already looking it up, buddy.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see what's happening in the world of entertainment as we, as we have a little bit more time here on the show.
The 411 on the 405. When Hollywood fucks up, we're there.
I'm a celebrity in an emergency.
Pedro Pascal. He's out there doing press because there's a new Star Wars movie coming up.
Yeah, The Mandalorian, right?
Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. You want to see it?
Yeah.
We go see it together?
I will definitely see that one, yeah.
Yeah, the wife has no interest. So
really?
I want to go. Yeah, she's not a Star Wars person.
She doesn't like Star Wars. I love Mandalorian. I love Star Wars. Not everything they do is good to me, but I like most of it.
Yeah, same. And I think Mandalorian. I like the show, so I'm looking forward to seeing the movie.
The show's great.
Yeah.
Did you watch? What was the other one? Boba Fett.
Yeah, and there. What's the other one? Starts with
Andor.
Andor, yeah.
That one is really good.
Yeah, I've seen them all.
Yeah.
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm a big sci-fi guy, but I do. I'm not like total geek out on Star Wars, but I enjoy them.
Yeah, same. I saw they have a Star Wars Day at Coors Field in Colorado.
I've been to a couple of those games.
Yeah.
I've done that a couple times over the years.
Yeah.
They'll have like Darth Vader come out with like stormtroopers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been there. I've done it. I guess maybe I am a
maybe you are
Star Wars
more
person.
of a geek than you admit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like that's kind of weird for me.
Uh-oh. Identity crisis.
Yeah. Well, it was interesting. We went and saw Project Hail Mary over the weekend.
You're like a month and a half late.
I know.
What did you think? But you saw it at the Dollar Theater.
No. That's not a thing anymore. I wish it was.
You ever they have the old movies that you go pay $1.50?
Yeah, those theaters are shut down now, Eddie.
I wonder why that business model didn't work. Anyways,
right. I will say though, we went and like the theater was packed. It was no seat was
really
empty. Yeah, totally packed.
What'd you think of Project Hail Mary?
I liked it, and the wife really liked it. So,
I liked it too. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
My one complaint was I thought it was just a little bit too long. That's all.
Yeah, I can see that, but yeah, it was a good time.
Good movie.
It It was a good movie.
And I like that it was an actual puppet, not CGI. Like that was.
And the puppet, the man who was the puppeteer was the voice.
Yeah, and they didn't plan that originally, I guess. When they were on set rehearsing, he was just the fill-in guy doing lines, so Ryan Gosling had someone to bounce off of, but then they ended up liking the guy's voice, so they went with it.
And I think it worked great.
Yeah.
And even though he was a puppet, man, I had feelings for Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky was a good man.
Yeah. Good being.
Yeah, good being.
Yeah, anyway, sorry, I've kind of sidetracked.
No,
We're
no,
talking
do
about
it.
sci-fi, and
no, I mean,
the wife doesn't really love sci-fi, and she liked that one, so.
Yeah, it was a good one. It was a good movie. We saw the Michael Jackson movie over the weekend. Michael.
Ooh. Yeah, what'd you think?
I went into it with very low expectations, and I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it was a decent movie. It wasn't like the best biopic in the world, but it did give me actually it was very nostalgic. You know, growing up during Michael Jackson's big era, you know, in the 90s and the early 2000s when he was everywhere all the time. I kind of forgot like how great he is, which is kind of a dumb thing to say, but I mean, really a great artist and perhaps misunderstood. So
yeah, I'll be honest, and I think I might misunderstand him, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the full story of Michael Jackson. I think I have a perception of him.
I mean, yeah, because he was always in the news in the tabloids and for something weird happening at Neverland Ranch and the monkeys and all of this, but
hanging babies outside a window.
Yeah, but then you watch the movie though, and you kind of like understand him a bit more. I felt like I was like, oh, okay, you know, he actually probably was just autistic, is what I kind of got out of it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I just assumed I won't say what I assumed because I don't want to spread rumors or misinformation.
Yeah,
I'll refrain from doing that. But I have assumptions, so.
Yeah, well, he was also abused as a child, and
okay, those were my assumptions.
He was a child of abuse and privilege at the same time.
Yeah,
his
father
dad
demanded perfection. Apparently, is what feeling I had.
Yeah, his father did demand perfection,
and specifically Michael, because I think he was the most talented.
Yes, Michael was treated the harshest because he was, but then at the same time, even though the dad was by all means a jerk and an asshole, I was thinking like the dad had good intentions, even though he went about it the wrong way. He was trying to get his family out of poverty, and he saw a way to do that, and he did
by exploiting his children. Yes,
but if you think about it, what that dad did has lasted generation. He created generational wealth for his family, and yes, he went about it the wrong way, but I don't know. He had good intentions, even though he, by all means, seemed like a POS.
Right. So you recommend we all see Michael? You're getting.
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. It's especially if you're like a '90s kid or whatever. So because you just forget how much he was a part of our lives growing up. And his music is good. Like he made so much good music.
Yeah, I mean, he was a great artist. I think, right. I think the question was, it's never been a question about like him as a musician or performer. I mean, I think he's all time great, but I think I get a little leery on the
allegations.
Against him. Yes. It kind of throws me off.
Yeah, and I don't know. Who knows with all of that? You really don't know. Macaulay Culkin spent a lot of time with him when he was a kid, and Macaulay Culkin said that Michael was nothing but a nice guy, and so who really knows what happened with that?
I don't. Yeah,
like we don't really know.
I'll have to go see it now. You've given your stamp of approval, and I appreciate that. So
yeah, again, not the best biopic I've ever seen, but it was good. It was good.
Which biopic is it? Like out of all the biopics that we've had over the years, like which one is it better than?
Which one is it better than?
Yeah. And which one does it fall short to?
That's a tough question. I don't know.
Threw you on the spot.
Yeah, I don't know. I would say.
I mean, there's a lot of biopics out there.
I know.
Right now.
I'm trying to think. Now, name a biopic, and I'll tell you if it's better or worse. I can't even think of any.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, on par with that one, for sure.
Okay.
And it even has Mike Myers. Mike Myers is in the. Yeah,
How about Ray.
Ray. I don't know if I saw that one actually.
Ooh, got it. Elvis.
Didn't see it.
Jesus Christ.
Didn't
Eddie.
see Elvis.
Fuck, dude. Come on. Get it together.
The Bob Dylan one, I'd say, is slightly better.
Slightly better than The Complete Unknown?
Yeah.
Okay. Complete Unknown wasn't that a nomination for Best Picture?
Yeah, but I think Michael's going to be nominated.
Okay.
I'm not saying that it's like the best movie in the world, but the Jamal Jackson, Michael Jackson's nephew, did a great job.
What biopic is better that you've seen than Michael?
I think that Johnny Cash one with Joaquin Phoenix was really good. I really like that one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
God, what was that called? I don't even remember.
Walk Hard or something?
No.
What was
I think Walk Hard
Dewey
was
Cox. Walk Hard.
Yeah. It's Walk something. What is it?
Walk the Line.
Walk the Line, yeah.
Yeah.
Walk Hard. God damn it, Eddie.
Okay, real quick as we wrap it up, one final thing to get to. Russell Brand is on trial right now. Did you know that?
I knew there was allegations. I guess I didn't realize he was going to trial. Is it here or is it in the UK?
It's in the UK, I believe. Yes. And I think he's on trial because there are allegations against him from 6 different women claiming that he sexually assaulted them.
That doesn't shock me.
And so this guy, Russell Brand, has been walking into court every day holding a Bible.
Oh, boy.
With his shirt unbuttoned. And which is what you, of course, want to do during a rape trial.
It's on brand.
Yeah, no pun intended. And so he goes into the court holding a Bible every day. So, normally I don't like Piers Morgan, but Russell Brand went on Piers Morgan's show and with a Bible. And Piers Morgan decided to ask Russell Brand what passage from the Bible is his favorite. And this is what happened. And I thought I got to hand it to Piers, our colleague that we don't really like. But he did a great job with this. This is good reporting here. Let's see here.
Yes.
Can I go back to asking a question about your Bible?
Yes, if you want to.
Thank you. Was that the one you took into court?
You're the very one.
Okay. What was your thinking of taking it into court? And what you were seeing, looking at some passages, what were the relevant passages for you?
All right. Thank you for asking me.
Thank you. I didn't know that, did I?
A little bit. It was this from Isaiah. You're right, Bear did say, be chilled. Sometimes I lose the chill, man. It's pretty...
He's just shuffling through the Bible.
He's just trying to find something that might be relevant.
Right.
It's this.
Still
they don't
shuffling.
like that, do they, in the old gallery? But remember you just said it's a hired spot. This is from Isaiah.
Still trying to find that passage.
He's flipping forward and backward. And
yeah.
Excuse me.
Still looking.
Flipping.
We're on live TV here.
Man, I'm not in the market before.
Praise Jesus.
And Piers Morgan's just waiting patiently. I gotta hand it to him.
They mic the Bible.
It says here.
So we can hear the papal.
Still trying to find it.
It says here. It's a
Piers Morgan just waiting patiently.
The verse that I was looking at that day was not this. I can't actually find the verse that I had that day. But this is good enough. This is from Isaiah 12.
Can I go back to asking a question?
So
this is good enough.
This one's good enough. What a piece of work, that guy. I never liked Russell Brand. I always thought he was kind of weird.
Yeah, yeah.
And I never got his brand of humor.
His characters was just how he was.
Yeah, and I didn't care for it.
Yeah, it's fair. And
Yeah.
But the characters he played is kind of slimy guy. Kind of the thought I had.
Okay, well, that's it for It's News to Us. Thanks, Jason, for hanging out, as always. And
thank you, Eddie.
It's always a pleasure doing the show.
You're both a saint and a scholar.
And we always end the show with our little tribute to Tim Apple.
I used to say, Tim,
a new one.
You got to start doing it over here, and you really have. I mean, you've really put a big investment in our country. We appreciate it very much, Tim Apple.
Yeah, that's DJT calling Tim Cook CEO of Apple. Tim Apple, but Tim Apple's out. Apple out. He's getting the core of Apple has been removed. So what are we gonna do now?
Oh boy, get a new joke.
I think we have to keep that though. But
yeah.
But we appreciate it very much, Tim Apple. Thank you for making this possible.
Well, let's get Tim Apple on the show.
Get him out. Let's make him a third host. that chair's been empty for a while. Let's get somebody else.
Yeah. Let's get the guy who helped fund the ballroom at the White House.
Tim Apple. If you need something to do in retirement, you can join the show. All right. See you next time.
With all due respect, that's a bunch of malarkey.
Give it up for Adobe, everybody.